Hello, and welcome to Women in Business, where we interview entrepreneurs and senior managers and show you the strengths, successes, obstacles, and roadblocks women experience in business. Since I believe every person in business needs to be visible, I'd like to invite you to watch www.sob6, that's the number 6, tips.com, which will give you some valuable information should you get the call to be on radio or TV, which I think is extremely important. If you'd like to contact me personally, drop me a line at Gail Carson, that's Gayle, GailCarson13 at gmail.com, or go to my website, www.spunkyoldbroad.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter.
My guest today is Kristin Burke, and her mission is to help others maximize their potential and achieve their definitions of success. As a goal achievement coach, she collaborates with women, entrepreneurs, and leaders to accomplish breakout performances. Her clients excel with goal clarity, grow their confidence, and consistently pursue progress in the direction of their goals. She also hosts the Elite Achievement Podcast. Welcome, Kristin. It is a delight to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me here, Dr. Carson. I'm excited to connect with your audience.
And I also see you're a yoga practitioner and you also ride the Peloton. So I'm just curious. I see so many ads for the Peloton and so many different routines. What's your favorite one?
Oh, that is a good question. So my favorite routine is to do a 30-minute ride, and I have become a huge fan of the hip-hop or the EDM rides. The music just fires me up. So I'll do a 30-minute ride, and then I'll do a 10 or a 20-minute yoga flow afterwards. And then the thing I've been working on, and this is absolutely a work in progress, is meditating afterwards. I think fast, I move fast, I talk fast, I'm always on the go. So I'm working on disciplining myself to slow down, even if it's 5 minutes, and sit there and breathe. And that's actually the most challenging part of my Peloton routine.
I believe it because I have a difficult time in meditating as well, so I get you. So let's start talking about So let's talk about your coaching practice. What inspired you to start it?
So I fell into it, if I'm being totally honest. I worked in the financial services industry and I studied communication in college, and I have a Master of Arts in communication, and I was working in a marketing and PR inspired role in St. Louis, Missouri, and my husband, his company is based out of Los Angeles, California, and so his company moved us to LA, and I was able to transfer to a different office here in Los Angeles, and there was not a marketing role open at the time. So the role that they had open was in training and development. And I thought, okay, sure, let's do it. And I stepped into this role and I start coaching new financial advisors. And I thought, one, this is really incredible and exciting to help people build their practices and achieve their goals. And two, I have a lot to learn. So at this point in my career, I've been coaching for over a decade, and I decided in 2019 that I was ready to take all of my corporate in-house coaching experiences and bring it to the marketplace and launch my own practice. So today, I am a goal achievement coach, and I specialize in working with individuals who have client-based businesses. So I do coach a lot of professionals in the financial services industry, as well as real estate professionals and other service-based professionals, copywriters and web developers. So anyone who has a business that requires them to obtain clients and serve clients and build a client base is really my specialty.
Well, you keep saying goal achiever. So what differentiates a goal achiever from those who don't achieve their goals?
That's a fantastic question. And one of the things I believe is we all have goals, and setting goals is a common practice, and a lot of people especially get really excited to set their goals at the start of a new year. And as I have coached at this point hundreds of small business owners, I've noticed a big difference between those people that set their goals and the individuals that achieve their goals. And the individuals that achieve their goals have a lot of goal clarity. They know what they want and why they want it. So in other words, these are the people that have spent time understanding what's important to them, and they've learned to move away from setting goals that they feel like they should set or that others are going after, and they set those goals that are meaningful to them and the life that they want to build. So goal clarity. From there, individuals that have a lot of confidence tend to achieve their goals, and confidence is one of my big talking points in a lot of my coaching. And I believe that we are all on a journey to grow our confidence. And anytime we're stepping into a new endeavor or we're striving to achieve a new goal, our confidence might be different. It might be shaken. And so that's where we go back to some of those practices, like you and I opened the show talking about, the working out or the meditation. Those practices can help us keep our confidence going strong. So it's absolutely a journey to grow our confidence. And I've learned that we can be confident in different areas of our lives at different times. So goal achievers are confident, and they're also courageous. Listen, when we go out to achieve big goals or to build a business or grow our business, we might have to take some risks. It might not always be comfortable. Building a clientele is going to involve some personal risk. And so we need to be courageously embracing discomfort so we can move in the direction of our goals. And then last, Dr. Carson, goal achievers are consistent. And there's a big difference between consistent and perfect. I'm not saying we have to be perfect and do things the exact way or the right way all the time, but we need to make consistent progress in the direction of our goals. And that's one of the areas where a coach like myself can really help, because we're not always going to be as courageous as we need to be. Our confidence, as I mentioned, is a journey. We need to keep growing it. So to have someone like myself on your team, making sure that we're following up and doing the things we need to do, we're consistently making progress in the direction of our goals. If we face adversity, we have a plan to bounce back and get right back on track with achieving our goals.
Well, I totally agree with you. And there's no, there's always a risk in everything you do. Nothing goes perfectly. So I certainly understand that. But there are roadblocks that people find. So what are some of the roadblocks people need to overcome to achieve their goals?
That's a great question, and I'm so glad that we are going to explore the roadblocks, because one of the things I think I started to believe when I was new to the coaching industry is that there must be something different about successful people. Maybe they're more talented. Maybe they were dealt a better hand in life. Like something must set these people apart. And honestly, what I've started to figure out is that they also face challenges. They also face adversity, but a lot of times successful people have learned how to work through the roadblocks on their journey to achieve their goals. And in my work coaching small business owners, I've noticed 4 dominant roadblocks. The first roadblock is I don't have time. And I don't have time might be true for some people. Let's be honest, right? We're all living different lives with different responsibilities, and so we have different commitments with our time. But ultimately, what I have found is I don't have time is a very easy excuse. It's something that comes out of our mouths without much thought. And if we're going to achieve a massive goal, it's going to require a commitment of time. And we're going to need to think about our time differently or utilize our time differently. So if any of our listeners find themselves saying, I don't have time when it comes to achieving a goal that's important, my first question is, do you really not have time? Because if we all take a look at how our time is being spent, we can use our time in very unintentional ways and we can get sucked into scrolling social media, and all of a sudden we go to check something online and 45 minutes later, we're still online. So the first way to work through the roadblock, I don't have time, is to truly ask yourself, do I not have time? And then what happens is you'll find there might be something you're afraid of, which is our second roadblock, is fear. So we've already talked about goal achievers are incredibly courageous. So it's not that they don't face fear. They have learned how to take action despite some of the fear that they face. So if you're paralyzed by fear on your goal achievement journey, what I recommend is you ask yourself two very simple questions. What is the worst that can happen? What is the best that can happen? And as you explore the answers to those two questions, and you might have to go a couple layers deep on each of them, what I have found is that my clients often look at that list of what is the best that can happen, and they say, yeah, the things on what's the worst that can happen list are scary, but not going after all of these potential best case scenarios is way worse. It is way more fearful than going after some of these what ifs and these potentials. So if you're paralyzed by fear on your goal achievement journey, what is the worst that can happen? What is the best that can happen? And the answers to those questions can help you work through that roadblock. And that leaves us with two other roadblocks to explore. One other roadblock, and I find this roadblock to be a bit more common with women than with men, it's striving for perfection. So a lot of times, Dr. Carson, in my work with women, the women that I coach, they don't want to take action until they have all the answers, or until everything is perfectly outlined, or when it comes to building a client base, until they know exactly what to say, or they fret over sending that email. And what we have to start to learn to do is we have to learn how to grow our confidence through taking that action. And so if we can recognize we're never going to have it perfect, we're always going to be at a chance of making a mistake because we're human. There's no way to reach perfection. And the more we keep striving for that perfection, the more we hold ourselves back when it comes to achieving our goals. And then the last roadblock is that women often have a hesitation to self-promote. And this can exist with some of my men clients as well, but a lot of times I find women, they are eager to take action if it's to help someone else. But when it comes to their own goals or asking for what they need or putting themselves out there, asking for that sale, there is a lot of hesitation. And as we grow our confidence, as we grow our courage, as you partner with a supportive coach who's going to challenge you and hold you accountable, you can start to build your muscle when it comes to self-promotion.
Well, I happen to agree with you on all of them, and I'm surprised about the self-promotion because that's something I've always done and always felt comfortable doing. And I almost feel, in one way, I think women are better at it than men, but men might have more courage in doing it. But when they do it more in a really hard-nosed way, whereas women are softer in their approach of self-promotion. So I agree with you with that. However, what happens if I'm going along my path and I'm perfectly happy, and all of a sudden I decide that this isn't where I want to be and I need to change my goals? What happens then?
That's a great question, and it happens to all of us. We start working towards something and we start learning and we think, oh, I don't know if this is what I want. So what I recommend to a lot of my clients is that we go back to that long-term vision. And if the goal we are working towards is still connected to that long-term vision, then my recommendation isn't that we change the goal. Perhaps we adjust the time frame. Likely we adjust the strategies. Maybe we need to go back to the clarity and why the goal is meaningful. So often in our goal achievement journeys, we're working towards a goal and it gets hard, or we're not making as much progress as we thought. It's not happening as quickly as we thought. And so if we can go back to that clarity piece, the why the goal is important and why we're going after it, that can help rejuvenate us and inspire us to keep moving forward. So the first question is to go back and ask yourself, is this goal I am working towards connected to my bigger long-term vision? If the answer is yes, let's not adjust the goal. Let's adjust time frame or strategies. But maybe the answer is no. No, this is not connected to the vision. Maybe the vision has changed. I'm a big, big believer that we all need to have a long-term vision that serves as a roadmap to where it is we want to go. But that roadmap is going to change. Our visions are a draft. As we grow personally, as we grow professionally, what we want long-term, it could evolve. And so there might be an opportunity to adjust that goal if it's no longer connected to that long-term vision, which is then an opportunity to explore, well, what is my new long-term vision? What does excite me? What am I working towards? And then we can set very strategic goals to achieve this year that can move us in the direction of that long-term vision.
Well, of course, there are a lot of external factors that go into this as well that may change, what your goals are or how you're going to accomplish them or what you want to do. But you also talk about an all or nothing mentality. And so how does that affect goal achievement?
Oh, I think this one is so good. Okay, I can relate this to real time. So I approached June with the mindset that I'm going to meditate every day. So here I am, the goal achievement coach. I know all or nothing mentalities don't serve us well, and yet I still sometimes fall back on those old habits, those old patterns, and I'm thinking, yes, I am going to meditate every day in the month of June. I want this peacefulness, this presence that comes from meditation. I want to build this habit. And then we had family visits. And family was able to visit for us for the first time in a year and a half. That was a really, really important experience for me. And I woke up one morning during their visit and I thought, oh, I missed today. I didn't meditate yesterday. Like, what happened? I was out of my normal routine. And I almost went into that beat up mode that, how dare you set this commitment, you were going to meditate every day this month and you missed a day and you're terrible and you might as well give up and you're off track. And I thought, wait a minute. Okay. I went from a space where I was meditating maybe twice a week to now where I've meditated and I've missed one day out of, the halfway through June. That's massive progress. It's a huge leap forward from where I was before this month. So I have a choice to make. Yes, I can listen to that all or nothing mentality and say, well, forget it. You missed the goal. You didn't hit it. Or you know what? I can meditate today and pick right back up where I left off. And so I think so often we believe we have to be perfect. It's going back to that perfection. And we either work out every day or we didn't hit our fitness goals. We either eat all of our fruits and veggies every day or we didn't hit, our dietary goals. We either read every day or we didn't hit our reading goal, when in reality, that's not true. And if we can start to embrace a little bit of grace, a little bit of room for humanness, we can say, all right, maybe I wasn't perfect this month, but hey, if I wake up and I personally have meditated 25 days in the month of June, that's a heck of a lot better than I did in the month of May. And I can keep moving forward and keep making progress.
Well, it's like someone who, eats a cookie and then says, oh my gosh, I didn't keep to my diet, and then eats the whole pack, So that makes all the difference in the world. So I agree that all or nothing mentality is sometimes difficult, So let me ask you about when do you think that people get off track? In other words, I know that they're thinking about their goals, they're doing their goals, but how do people stay connected to their goals?
Yes. So how do people stay connected and how do people get off track? So we'll go back to the beginning of the year, which is when a lot of people tend to set goals. It's a new year. People believe it's a new opportunity. This is the year I'm not going to eat the cookies, or this is the year I'm going to ride the Peloton. We all have these big visions of what we want to accomplish. And then what starts to happen is we miss a day, or in the example you use, we eat one cookie and well, now the whole bag of cookies is gone. And so a lot of times it's recognizing that, hey, that one misstep or that one opportunity where you didn't perform the way you want it to doesn't mean it's game over. So one is recognizing if that all or nothing mentality is coming to play, that mentality isn't necessarily serving you well on your goal achievement journey. And it's about learning how to bounce back, which is another way to stay connected to your goal, is having what I call a bounce back plan in place. So we all know that to build a big business or achieve a fantastic life, it's going to take some work and there could be difficulties along the way. So to have a plan in place when you face those difficulties. And the bounce back plan is super simple, 2 steps. Step number 1, engage in an activity that makes you feel fantastic. For me personally, this is listening to a great song with my daughter and dancing around my office. And all of a sudden, if I do that for 3 or 4 minutes, my mindset and my energy has shifted. So I'm no longer thinking about that client that said no, or that person that didn't call me back. All of these things that can wreak havoc on our goal achievement journeys. I'm able to shift that mindset and stop thinking about it by engaging in that activity that makes me feel great. And then that second step of that bounce back plan is to take action in the opposite direction of the story that you're telling yourself. So in that example of if a client says no, they're not going to move forward and work with you, one action could be send an email to get a referral to another potential client. And now you've shifted the way that you're thinking about that situation, and you've started taking action to prove that story false. So a bounce back plan is absolutely necessary on our goal achievement journeys. But then it's really important to have practices to stay connected to your goals. And one of my favorite practices is what I call the Friday ritual. So every week I close out my business week. Usually it's on Fridays, but hey, if I'm out of the office on a Friday, I will do the Friday ritual on a Thursday afternoon. And the Friday ritual is 3 parts. Number 1, I write down my wins for the week. This is a strategy to help me grow my confidence, because I recognize not every week in business is going to be fantastic. There are going to be disappointments. There are going to be setbacks, but there are wins you can find every week on your goal achievement journey. And I've also learned that by Friday, I kind of forgot about all the great things that happened on Monday and Tuesday, and I might just be thinking about that one negative thing that happened on Thursday. So every Friday, write down weekly wins. The second part of that Friday ritual is to note the lessons that you learned throughout the week. Again, this is going back to that courage piece, that courage part of being a goal achiever that we spoke about at the beginning. I'm going to have to stop
you there, Kristin.
Yeah.
Kristin, I'm going to have to stop you. We only have 2 minutes left. So
oh my gosh, okay.
I want people to know how to reach you. I don't know if you have a gift for anybody, but what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You could just tell I can talk about this all day long, right? So I'm going to leave everyone with a cliffhanger. If you want to know what steps 2 and 3 of the Friday ritual are, head over to my website, which is KristinBurke.com. On KristinBurke.com, you can find the link to my podcast, which is Elite Achievement. You can find my blog, which does detail out the Friday ritual. You can also connect with me socially at Meet Kristin Burke on Instagram. And if you're an Instagram user, I'm going to encourage you to start following Honor Your Ambition. Honor Your Ambition is a new mastermind that I am facilitating with 2 incredible incredible women. And we have a 12-week long course that's starting up in July, which is going to be a great way for ambitious women to lean in, learn business acumen, and grow the businesses that they want to grow. That's at Honor Your Ambition on Instagram and honoryourambition.com.
Fantastic. And if anybody wants to know, Kristin is spelled Kristin, and Burke is Burke. So it's KristinBurke.com. And go to her website, see what she has to offer. There's a lot of information there. And yes, Kristin, you are enthusiastic about what you do. So I just really enjoyed our conversation today, and that's really what it was, a conversation. And I want to thank you for being with us. It was really delightful, and I'm just wishing you great success in the future.
I appreciate this opportunity, Dr. Carson. Thank you for giving me the platform and the space to share what I'm passionate about. And it's my hope that we have some listeners who achieve their most meaningful goals this year.
Let's hope so. Thank you so much, Kristin.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Women in Business. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you have any suggestions as to who you'd like me to have as a guest, just email me at gailcarson13@gmail.com. Be sure to check out www.sob6tips.com. And in the meantime, go to www.spunkyoldbroad.com to see the resources I have for you.